Katie Pavlich now, a bit of analysis now, news editor, townhall.com, and a Fox News contributor. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Great to be
I mean,
here.
look, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. There's all this news to talk about.
Busy day.
Start with Time Magazine. What do you think of the announcement that you watched earlier today?
Well, I think it's interesting that they put divided states of America on the cover. I think, of course, that was probably a hit at Donald Trump. But what they're not mentioning is that Hillary Clinton has lost another election. Based on the fact that she was in the running for this, unfortunately. So, sorry, Hillary.
The theme now is America First. You watched it play out last night in North Carolina. What was your takeaway?
This has been Donald Trump's theme all year long, and this is why he won the White House. We've seen in the past week that he wants these deals, business deals, jobs to stay at home with the carrier deal and the announcement from SoftBank that they're going to invest double the amount of money that they promised before to invest. And Donald Trump has made it very clear that he's going to be working with Congress and Paul Ryan to foster a business-friendly environment within the country so that all businesses can thrive here at home rather than having to go overseas, whether it's through a reduction in a corporate tax rate, tax reform, or repealing Obamacare, which has had an enormous negative effect on job growth in this country over the past 7 years.
Let me come back to that whole theme in a moment here. But first, James Mattis. Do you think he gets the waiver from Congress?
I think he will. Republicans actually last night put the waiver issue into the spending bill that's coming up for a vote at the end of this week. If Democrats want to deny James Mattis his waiver based on that issue, there will be a government shutdown, and it will be their responsibility. So Republicans are pushing the issue. It expedites the issue to make it happen before Donald Trump takes office on January 20th, before he's sworn in. And so I think he'll get the waiver. Outside of Democrats trying to be obstructionist because they're opposed to Trump, there hasn't really been a lot of bipartisan criticism of James Mattis. He has a lot of respect from both Democrats and Republicans for his judgment on the battlefield.
Secretary of State, I thought Mr. Trump made some news this morning in that interview on NBC. He said that he will get an announcement next week. And he was asked to take somebody off the list that's been made public. He did not do that, which tells us Mitt Romney is still in the running, as he said. What is your sense about who he decides?
You know, it's hard to tell. He had the list of 4. He expanded that list to 10. John Bolton is still in the running. Rudy Giuliani is still in the running. Mitt Romney, who has been roundly criticized by Trump advisors publicly, is still in the running, according to Donald Trump, who wouldn't take it off the table. General Petraeus would add to the general list. There's been a little bit of pushback on that. Joe Manchin is an interesting choice, considering he's a Democrat from West Virginia, Democratic senator. Democrats have to figure out what to do with that seat should he be chosen for the job. So this is clearly a position that Donald Trump thinks is very important in a representation of the United States around the world. And based on his America First mantra, he wants to make sure he has the right person to do that job.
What was curious about part of his answer, I thought, Katie, was that he said, Mitt and I have come a long way, basically.
Yeah. Well,
he's looking for that comfort zone.
Well, and the thing is when they got together, there was a lot of criticism of, well, Mitt Romney said horrible things about Donald Trump. But the bottom line is that they were willing to put aside their differences, their egos, and really come together about what they can do for the betterment of the country. Whether they were able to reconcile all of their viewpoints, whether it's on Russia, other issues, so that Romney gets the position, is another story. As we just saw, there's a lot of people in line for the job, and I'm sure Donald Trump will make the best decision that he thinks to represent his Make America Great Again slogan all around the world.
Well, you commute between Washington and New York City. We know what's going on in this town. Yeah. Give us a sense of Washington when you tick off the list of things to do. Tax reform, Obamacare, infrastructure. A lot of promises out there. Well, how is that now being received?
Well, considering Republicans are running the Senate and the House at this point, a lot of those promises can be, fulfilled. It's more difficult when there's a split government to make that happen. But there's always a danger in over-promising, as President Obama did in his first term. So Donald Trump doesn't seem to be worried about that. But it seems like they're ready to get things done. Their Obamacare repeal is on the table as soon as the new Congress and as soon as Donald Trump is sworn in. They're ready to get things rolling in D.C. for the first time in a while.
Nice to see you, Katie, especially in person. Katie Pavlich, you bet, here in New York. Martha, what's next?
So